gender relations, that's relationships between men and women, promoting gender equality. And when people hear me promote gender equality, they wonder what I'm talking about. Do you know men have less access to children when they're not married to the mother under the law? The law does not allow men, even if the mother is an unfit mother, the father has a difficulty under the law. The other thing is men can't adopt children as easily as women can in the country. Okay? We also want to highlight male role models. We also want to highlight the discrimination against men and boys and do what we can to correct that. And also celebrate the achievement and contributions to the community, family, marriage, and child care that men make on a regular basis. International Men's Day is held on the 19th of November every year. That's the only date you got to remember. You get that right in any history exam. We give you 5 points, okay? Thank you very much.
All right, gentlemen. So without further ado, we got our first keynote speaker as our panel and workshop operators. They head to their room. And I want to talk about his story as he comes up. Asheene Smith, you can start coming up, bro, is a young man that blew my mind. I mean, if I could be honest, Asheene, when I first saw Asheene, I was like, I thought I was a nerd in school, dread, boy. But what blew my mind is his determination to stick to who he is. This young man, when he first came to the school, he had to come to the summer bridging program, which is an opportunity where you kind of get a chance to make up for failing, bro. Like if you fail BGCSE, it's the college have a program where if you pay $2,000, we could help you in one summer, make sure you're up to par. So he was in this program, and I met this young man in this class, and he was dead articulate, yada, yada, rah, rah, quoting people. And I was like, okay, that sounds good, but, you know, iron sharpen iron. And I started asking some questions back, and he started to stutter. And I was like, who is this young man? Is he arrogant or is he a king? He started school. He take 7 classes his first semester and joined 12 organizations and clubs. Once again, I asked, is he arrogant or he's a king? Then he went into the Mr. UB pageant, and despite people looking at him and being like, how can this guy do this? He won the pageant. And when I saw the look on his face when he won something that gave him a full scholarship to the University of the Bahamas, he won something that gave him traveling opportunities, something that pays for his dorms because he's not from here, he's from Grand Bahama. He won something that pretty much have him straight, and then all he had to do is just keep being himself. So at this point, I'm like, oh, he's leaning toward a king. But what really proved it to me is from day one, he started as Mr. UB. Asheene gives out motivational speeches. He gives out a motivational little slip, a paper this long. You see, we didn't do the PR on Asheene. Asheene is who he is. All he does is walk around campus every day and give out a small slip of paper to give people hope. Hope, that's it. And then 1 year later, I had a student come into my office crying because this guy has to leave as Mr. UB. That's the kind of man that's coming to talk to you right now. Somebody who believes in working and where he needs to go, somebody who believes in helping others along the way, and somebody that we are proud to say is our Mr. UB. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you Mr. UB, Asheene Smith.
My imprint outweighs the giant. See, these were the words that I told myself at 8 years old while staring into a reflection and looking at the swollen eye that my father gave me earlier that day. I wasn't in trouble, nor did I speak against his will. The reason to which I was abused was the simple fact that he resented my presence. Day after grueling day, my face would be plastered to the cold hard ground while being told that my existence on this earth was meaningless. But through all that I've been through, I got up, I looked into that reflection, and I said that my imprint outweighs the giant. Man, there are going to be people inside of your life that are going to speak against your dreams. There are going to be people who are going to exit your life faster than they ever entered. And there are going to be people who are going to speak against your success. But through all that you go through, I need you to remember these words. My imprint outweighs the giant. At 8 years old, my father referred to me as nothing, believing that the only thing that was destined for me was becoming a bum. I made it my goal to read 10 books each and every single day. I made it my duty to learn 10 new words each and every day. You see, it didn't matter how long the process took, just as long as there was a process in the making. You've got to want it for yourself. Success is not just something that people could just see within yourself sometimes. You've got to work for it. You've got to be determined, and you've got to want the best for your future. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned inside of life is the fact that you've got to have self-love. Growing up as a young child, seeking the validation of a father that never saw his potential, I can honestly tell you, not everyone in your life is going to see the greatness that's inside of you. And some people are meant to be removed from your life to give you the room to evolve to the person that you're meant to be. The second biggest lesson that life taught me is the fact that you are in control of your destiny. No circumstance, adversity, or situation can change the person that you are meant to be other than yourself. Your perception controls your reality. Your paradigm controls how far your potential is meant to go. So in everything, control your perception, because by having control of your perception of life, you control your quality of life. And one of the biggest lessons I would like to leave with you today would be the fact that through every struggle and mistake that you face in life, embrace them and never run away from them. By a show of hands, who's never made a mistake in their life? Okay. By a show of hands, who has never been through a struggle? The reason why you go through mistakes and the reason why you go through these struggles is because it makes you into the person that you're meant to be. I want you to think about this for a minute. If you've never made a mistake inside of your life, do you think you'll be wise? Just a rhetorical question. I want you to think upon it. If you've never been through a struggle, do you think you'll be a strong person that you are today? Do you think you'll be as wise, as smart, that you'll be where you are? So in everything you do, I want you to embrace those mistakes, embrace those errors, embrace those struggles, because it's those barriers that are used to make your mountains when you overcome. I would like for each and every last person inside this room to stand up for a second. Now, I'm going to ask you to say this, but I want you to say this with as much power that you have today. As much power. I want you to repeat after me. My imprint outweighs the giant. Please sit. There are going to be occasions in your life when people are going to speak against your name. I need you to remember these words. My imprint outweighs the giant. There are going to be circumstances where you feel as if life is far too much, but I need you to remember these words. My imprint outweighs the giant. And in everything you do, regardless of how you feel right now, that journey is going to be hard, it's going to be long, but I need you to remember these words. My imprint outweighs the giant. Thank you.